Community of Fayetteville is mourning the loss of barbecue and burger icon Wesley Whitmore, the owner of Wes's Barbecue Burgers Plus. 5 News reporter Laura Castleman attended his memorial today and heard how he fed not just the body, but people's souls.
Friends, family, and community members packed the funeral home, and it wasn't just about the business behind me, it was about the man who built it.
I want Jesus to walk with me.
For over 40 years, Wes's Barbecue has been more than just a staple restaurant in Fayetteville. It was the first Black-owned business in the city. Inside the restaurant always sat owner Wesley Whitmore, with a gift for gathering people around the table.
I call him Uncle Wes, so he's one of my first memories and core memories is just going to Wes Barbecue.
Fred Goley was raised in Fayetteville and met Whitmore at a young age.
So I just remember daily, we would walk from Fayetteville High School over to Wes Barbecue. There were so many stories about people talking about they just brought what they had and it was always enough. And I think it speaks to the character of the family. It speaks to the character of Wes.
Whitmore's youngest brother, Manuel Whitmore, says even though there was an age gap, he still found a way to spend time with him.
Every summer he would come up and get me from our small town, bring us to Fayetteville. This year was a celebration today. Wes did not like funerals. He didn't go to any.
Whitmore's brother-in-law, Carlton Jones, says his impact goes beyond food.
Defender of people who couldn't defend themselves or who didn't have everything that it took, to make it for themselves. He was always willing to be that helping and supporting hand.
Wes's isn't going anywhere. His son is taking over the business. And although Wesley Whitmore is no longer there to greet every customer, his presence will be felt at every table.
As Fayetteville says goodbye to a man who helped define its flavor, his family says his legacy will continue to live on through his restaurant. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Laura Castleman, 5 News.
To celebrate the beginning of spring and the end of winter, the Momentary hosted Holi, the Indian Festival of Colors. Holi celebrates the love of Radha Krishna and is observed in India for thousands of years. While it's traditionally celebrated in early March, the event was held today to make the most of the springtime weather. The celebration featured a live DJ and traditional Indian food, all to celebrate the vibrancy of life. It was a gathering today in Van Buren to celebrate this country. Organizers call it the Pro-American Rally. 5 News anchor Darren Bobb tells us it all centers around celebrating patriotism.
And the home of the brave.
Alan Swaim has lived in the River Valley all his life. This is the second of these rallies that he's organized.
There's a lot of negative rallies, a lot of negative protests going on about our country, and I love our country. And we were raised to love our country. We were taught to love our country in school, in Sunday school, at home, and what we're trying to do is just bring back patriotism. We love this country.
He says the biggest message with the rally is to encourage positivity.
No negativity. Let's be positive. Let's all love our country, regardless who the leader is. It's still the United States of America. And that's the point we're trying to get across today. It shows me that they're still true Americans. And there's a lot of people can't be here today that are true Americans also. But we're trying to make a statement, and these great people are here to make that statement.
In Van Buren, covering news where you live, I'm Darren Bobb, 5 News.
Swaim says he plans to make these rallies annual events. The man charged with killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk returned to court yesterday, with the defense asking once again to ban cameras from the proceedings. Attorneys for Tyler Robinson called an expert witness to discuss the impact of extensive media coverage on potential jurors. Robinson is accused of fatally shooting Kirk during an event at Utah Valley University last September. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. In international news, Venezuela's exiled opposition leader Maria Corina Machado drew several thousand supporters at a rally in Madrid Saturday. Speaking on stage, Machado called for free elections in Venezuela. Back in January, President Nicolas Maduro was captured by the U.S. following a military operation in Caracas, Venezuela. He remains in U.S. custody, and Deputy Prime Minister Delcy Rodriguez is interim president. Machado declined a meeting Saturday with Spain's Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez. Machado plans to return to Venezuela, but hasn't specified when or how she will do so. A group of Venezuelan immigrants remain in limbo in South Florida. They wish to self-deport, but a lack of representation in the United States prevents them from obtaining the necessary permits to return to their country. Carolyn Pajado reports.
Pedro speaks to his family in Venezuela from a motel in Miami. His story and that of these Venezuelan migrants is unusual. In a country where thousands are fighting to stay, they are trying to go back to their country, but they can't.
Pero me impulsó más a irme la situación de mi madre, pues que fue diagnosticada con cáncer.
Ya no quiero estar aquí, quiero estar con mi familia y esto aquí muy duro. Yo vengo de Dallas.
They arrived in Miami from various cities across the U.S., and what was supposed to be a brief layover ahead of a flight to Caracas became the start of many overnights at the airport terminal.
Duré como unos 12 días en el aeropuerto, durmiendo en las sillas, esperando noticias, porque cuando llegó mi salvoconducto dijeron que era falso, prácticamente fuimos estafados.
Pedro says he purchased a travel document online to get home. Turns out it was fake. So now he is relying on family in Venezuela to obtain a permit for him to return home. And with no operational Venezuelan consulates in the U.S., all he can do is wait. After days at the airport, relief came from Hermanos de la Calle, a Miami-based nonprofit that takes in families in need of shelter.
Because we respond to vulnerability, we've been bringing these families in as long as we can have them or as long as we can figure out what to do next.
Han visto muchos cambios con esta administración en temas de inmigración. ¿Esto tiene algo que ver por qué te quieres ir?
Sí, a temor de que me agarren por ahí, uno nunca sabe y yo tengo mis hijos acá. Y ese es el temor, que me quiten a mis hijos.
U.S. authorities tell CNN all three have registered to self-deport, but they currently lack the proper documentation. Despite signing up through the CBP Home app, rumors of ICE detaining other migrants in their position deter them.
¿Por qué no ir a las autoridades?
No, sí, es una intención que muchos venezolanos aquí hemos intentado, pero es una cosa que a nadie le va a gustar estar 3 meses, 4 meses detenido solamente por tu deportarte.
DHS states that it only detains those illegally present in the country who chose not to self-deport. While the shelter continues to house families in need, Pedro, Jennifer, and Layla wait for answers.